Hey, guys. Wow, right?
Any given Sunday, I guess, right? I mean,
I don't know. It didn't even feel like an any given Sunday kind of upset.
No, they felt like the Steelers number one, 27-20 over the Colts. And for the majority of that game, if not all the game, the Steelers felt like the better football team.
That's right. He's Chris Halleck. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. We're from DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is a live shot of Steelers. It's presented by FanDuel. We're coming to you from Acrisure Stadium from spectacular downtown Pittsburgh. Chris, this is the second time in 24 hours that I've covered the top team in the league losing a game. Yesterday I was in Winnipeg, Manitoba when the Jets took out the number one Penguins. And today, there go the number one Colts. But I'm going to say this again. That didn't look fluky to it. That didn't look like, even with the turnovers and stuff, the turnovers were forced. They weren't handed. Well, Daniel Jones had a couple of, the last pick by Joey Porter.
Yeah.
But otherwise, the Steelers earned what they got defensively.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They earned what they got offensively. They earned what they got on special teams. We're not leaving them out.
No.
This was really impressive. This was what I think everybody wanted to see as a continuation from, 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, this defense, for that 3-game stretch before the last 2 games, was trending, like over those 3 weeks, like isolated, the Steelers were one of the most efficient defenses in the league in terms of taking the ball away, in terms of stopping the run and everything. Obviously, that went away, and not only went away, it fell off a cliff the last couple weeks, but today, number one, they stopped the run. Jonathan Taylor was a non-factor.
Non-factor. It's not hype.
No.
It's not us after the game coming up with whatever. No. He was not a thing.
No, he was not. I mean, we're talking the guy who was leading the NFL in carries, rushing yards, and he had 12 touchdowns.
And scoring.
Yeah.
Let me restate that.
Yeah.
Scoring, meaning more than the kickers.
Yeah. But it started with that. But that first drive, when the Steelers go 3 and out, and then the Colts get the ball, and they go down and score a touchdown. And even though that was an unsuccessful drive for the defense, you and I saw it in the press box. That defense was playing.
Swarming. They were flying.
Yeah, they were playing different. They were playing with a lot more fire, a lot more fight than we had seen the past couple of weeks. And I mean, like I said, we saw it in the press box, but then this kind of came up with. Actually, we were talking about Cam Heyward. We're talking with Cam Heyward about the first strip sack by TJ, being that being the first takeaway that happened since Dublin. And
I forgot about that. That's
yeah,
right.
That was the first takeaway since Dublin. And Cam didn't even really talk about that. He talked about that first drive, the fight that was there.
And here it is.
I didn't even hear the couple booths, but I thought we had really attacked the game to start off with. Even when it was a long drive, I felt like we just kept competing. I know it came down to fourth and 1 in the red zone, but it was a battle just to even get to that. And I thought we just kept going on and keep getting better. And then when TJ got that turnover, it really felt like we kind of stabilized ourselves and gave us a short field to our offense. And it really just benefited us from there on out.
There you go. I mean, literally, like that kind of fight, it was there. It was tangible. You could see it. You could put your finger on it, and it started to actually produce stops and produce takeaways and that defense, again, they earned. I understand they ended up allowing 20 points in the game, and you look at the final score, that game, that defense, that was their best performance of the season, especially when you consider who they were playing.
When you consider who they were playing is a big thing here. When you consider who they played before this in those previous 2 games, I thought that also was a big thing, Chris. I'm a believer here, and again, I'm going to be blending my hockey and football here a little bit, but when Sidney Crosby told me in St. Paul, Minnesota, that he felt that the Penguins having a couple of losses that they really didn't like early on, it strengthened them as a team. They found out things about themselves that they needed to shore up. I asked Troy Fautanu after this game if this happens without Cincinnati and Green Bay going as they did. There's so much fire out there, man. I mean, I don't even have a question for that. It's just, here's something. Cincinnati, Green Bay, if those don't happen, does this happen? Think about that for a second.
No, I don't know because the conversations were a little different this week, especially coming off of those two losses, and just a reminder, man, that we're here to have fun, but also represent something bigger than ourselves, and that's the name across our chest, and just playing like the guys that came before us. So. I don't know if that would happen if we would have dropped those 2 games. So I'm just excited. Yeah. We got to carry this over because we got another big game, but just going to celebrate this one. I'm super excited.
Well, if you were the smart ones this weekend who took the Steelers to beat the number 1 ranked in every capacity Colts, then you're way too wealthy to be spending time in squalor with the likes of us. If you're the rest of us, it's time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. What was the latest line? It was 3.5?
I think it was 3 right before the game on FanDuel.
So the Steelers even beat the spread.
Yes.
Yeah, lock in your bets today with FanDuel. Whatever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines and futures and specials, and you can join in on all of the fun. Or, in the case of those people who had the Steelers today, a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. And also, I thought before the game that this game was going to be like I think the over/under was like 51.5 points. I was like, take the over. I mean, the Colts are going to score 30 by themselves, and the Steelers might get some garbage time. This was under today. It was 47 total points. I mean, I was, again, that's a credit to the defense. It really is.
It is, and the performance of the defense, and I thought the offense, by the way, competed just as hard. I don't know that they were as effective or
Rodgers
dynamic.
Was not happy with the offense's performance.
No, I'm saying I'm saying they got points.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they did.
Rodgers was visibly unhappy on the field with a lot of different things and different people, and that's okay too, because that's also part of the fight.
Yeah.
And the fight is one of the things that was. It was my main focus going downstairs was to find out what got into this team. Because to me, this wasn't just about, and not that we're not going to give appropriate credit, X's and O's, coaching, strategy, blah, 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 okay? But this was about emotion. This was about passion. A player told me soon after I got into that room that a couple of guys had spoken to the team last night in their hotel. They always have a meeting the night before a game. And when I asked who that was, as a reporter would do, the response was that it was Jonnu and Jalen. And I went, which is probably the reaction that you just had, because Jonnu Smith hasn't been with the Steelers for a very long time. I don't know that he's been somebody who's been super out there in the media, so you don't get a real sense for who he is. I think both of us have had kind of limited experiences with him.
Yeah.
All right. And Jalen, I'm thinking, Jalen Warren? So, dummy here walks over to Jalen Warren's locker. I have to admit this in full view of everyone, right? And I go, Jalen, did you speak to the team last night? And he goes, me? He goes, if that's me giving a speech, he goes, I'm getting 2 words out. And I go, oh, okay, so other Jalen, right, without the Y and everything. And Jalen Ramsey was another guy in there. You'll be able to read all about that on our app. That's what our app alerts sound like when they come into your phone. The Gateway Clipper sound. Yeah. It's not. You'll be able to read all of the details on what was said. I talked to a lot of different guys about that, exclusively, by the way, on our app, on the DK Pittsburgh Sports app. Chris, I didn't find out whether or not it was Mike Tomlin that put them up to this, but it wouldn't surprise either of us if that were the case, right? He has a feel for this sort of thing.
He really does, and for a lot of the flack that Mike Tomlin has rightfully gotten over the past couple of weeks,
including from here.
Right, absolutely. These are the kind of moments in which you kind of remember why Mike Tomlin has had the longevity that he's had. It's not just because he's coaching for a team or for a franchise that doesn't fire head coaches. It's also because he does stuff like this.
Yeah,
there are reasons why in 2013 when they start 0-4, they don't finish under 500. There are reasons why in 2019 when Ben's arm blows up after 6 quarters,
2019,
that they don't. I mean, with Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges that they're still competing for a playoff spot in the final week of the season.
Yeah.
There are reasons why this happens, and Mike Tomlin does not get enough credit for stuff like that. And
that's fair.
It would not be surprising if Tomlin were the one to kind of
say, hey,
nudge those guys in the right direction.
And say, like, I was talking about this with Connor Heyward, and I said, and I'm going to be honest with you here, Connor, I said I could see it coming from, like, your brother.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because that's a guy, but there also are cases, and we hear and see and read a lot about, like, so-and-so's voice is getting stale in the room or whatever. Well, that doesn't just happen with coaches. Mm-hmm. That can happen with locker room leaders.
Yeah.
You'll see situations where somebody who is a captain or a leader on a team will just say, hey, listen, somebody else, okay? I've tried now for 3 or 4. Somebody else, say something. And I'm not going to give it a column. You're going to have to read the column to find out what was said here. But it really got these guys going, and they performed at a very high level. Chris, nothing could have been at a higher level than the way this defense went after the football, went after people physically. And let's kind of recalibrate here, because it does matter only what happens on the football field.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey not only addresses his teammates and fires them up, but he goes out there with that monster hit.
Yeah. Sets the tone early, for sure.
And it got the crowd, which, by the way, during the introductions was kind of...
Yeah. There wasn't really a player that got a gigantic pop. No. This was not, I mean, like last week when the Steelers were playing the Packers and your quarterback when
Number
Aaron
8! Yeah, the place was going nuts.
Yeah, it was a huge. Now, granted, there were Packers fans that were also going to be cheering for Aaron Rodgers just because of the lore there, but no, it was. Let's put it this way: if that defense were to trot out all together on the field at one time, they might have gotten booed.
Well, I don't know before a game, but it certainly wouldn't have been enthusiastic. And from there, Ramsey gets them back in, because Ramsey has like, listen, I'm here, number 5. I'm invested. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm all the way in. Late when he had the really really hard hit, went at the guy's head.
Yeah, I got the flag. Yeah,
he couldn't care less.
No.
He turned around and he looked at the crowd.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
he looked at the crowd and said, "That's me.
Yeah.
I'm giving you everything I have here, Pittsburgh."
Yeah.
And I thought that was endemic of the kind of day that he had, and last night. To see these guys perform like this, and then to see one of them, above all, really rise up.
Yeah.
Like at a special level. I'm not going to say Cam. I'm not going to even say TJ Watt, although he had himself a game to quiet everybody for a while.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 41, Chris.
Yeah, he was the best player on the defensive side against the Packers.
Yep.
He was once again the best player on defense this week.
It's Peyton Wilson, if you don't know who 41 is. Why are you watching a Steelers show?
My gosh. I mean, I'll have to pull up the numbers, but a lot of tackles. Interception. Batted another pass down.
Here, hold this up. I'll get his tackles.
Yeah, I believe it was 14, if I'm not mistaken.
No, really?
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, well over double digits. I mean, yeah, he had a lot of tackles.
I don't have my glasses on,
No,
so this is all you.
No, that's fine. I can look. No, they gave him credit for 13. 13 tackles.
What else?
For Peyton Wilson. 2 passes defense. One of those went into Jack Sawyer's hands. He had an interception himself. He also had a tackle on special teams.
That was otherworldly.
Yeah.
Like he murdered this dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like climbed up his back and just flattened him.
Right. No, Peyton Wilson was all over the place, and I asked him.
He looked special. And I'm sorry, that word gets overused a lot in sports anymore. He looked special.
He did. He really, really did. And I asked him after the game, like, how do you feel like your game has been evolving? Because, like, for the past, I didn't want to say it, but for the past couple of weeks, you've pretty much been the best player on defense. And so I talked to him about this, and he's still confident, guys.
How do you feel about your game over the past couple of weeks? I mean, a lot of tackles today. You get an interception. You have the batted pass that leads to Sawyer's interception, but you also, like last week, had a really good game. How do you feel like your game is helping and helping set a tone in the defense as well?
I think I'm just really gaining confidence. Really trusting myself, trusting these guys, the trust that they've put in me. Obviously today, like the trust that TA has in me to move me around a lot. So it's been really cool. I think a lot of it's just been confidence. player that you've seen for the last few weeks is the player that I am, and I'm going to continue to improve and continue to get better.
Yeah, Peyton Wilson's still a confident guy. And no, we heard this kind of stuff in Latrobe, but we didn't really see it manifest on the field.
You got to do it. You got to do it. This kid, and I was joking around with him downstairs about this after this game, and I asked him if he remembered when I went up to him after one of his early preseason games in Atlanta, and I asked him because I thought he had done some good things in that game. It's preseason, whatever. He's a rookie. You're just talking, and he goes, "Give me time. You'll know when it's there," which I thought was a really okay, kid.
Yeah.
kind of comment, right?
Yeah.
And I go, so I was joking around with him, and I go, okay, so this is it, huh? He goes, this is it. And I said, last week too? He goes, last week too.
Yeah.
So that's who he is, and that's who he aspires to be, and the two things are intertwined. I liked what he did. I liked the play of the inside linebackers. I liked the play of the people who have been beleaguered of late, and that's almost all of them on defense.
No.
I thought all three of the edge rushers were effective, including, by the way, Alex Highsmith.
Oh, Highsmith was
all right. Let's not be omitting him. We're ready to bury him every third week. In the secondary, Slay was banged up. He busted his finger, by the way. It looked his knuckle looked like a golf ball. That's the Gateway Clipper. Either that or the Buffalo Sabres have scored somewhere. Hockey guy gets it. To see them all step up like that, the secondary guys, Joey coming away with the pick, just a good collective feel to the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And it may be a coincidence, it may not, but before the game, the Super Bowl 40 team was here. They were addressing the media. They were also honored at halftime, which was really cool to see the reception for Dick LeBeau.
That was the best.
That really was. But, Ben was talking, Ben Roethlisberger was talking before the game about how special that team was and how that team also went through midseason adversity. They started off 7-2. They lost 3 in a row. They were dealing with injuries, and they were reeling. There was a tough AFC back then, and they had to run the table. They had to win those final 4 games. In that game where down there in that corner where Jerome Bettis ran over Brian Urlacher, that was the turning point of that season. Not just that game, but that season. The team began to buy in. They began to really believe in each other, and they kept believing in each other. And this performance today shows that what it is. You don't have to try to be a hero every time you're going out there. If you just stay within yourself, play one of 11 football, that you can put the Colts were tied for third, for fewest turnovers.
Crazy.
And they took the ball away 6 times.
6 times.
So, this is what can happen when you have that type of a performance where you believe in each other, you trust each other to play the right way, and that's what it looks like.
On a snowy day, you can still see the mythical chalk outline of Urlacher's body down there inside the 10-yard line here. I'll never forget it. I was here for that, covering it. I will never forget it. Chris, looking ahead to next week, it's another challenge, obviously, with the Chargers. They have the number 1 passer in football in Justin Herbert, so it might be a different type of challenge.
Yes.
But at the same time, they're just going to have to get revved up the same way. They're going to have to do it the same way.
Yeah, again, it's going to be, Peyton Wilson talked about it, before the game or after the game today. He's like, yeah, we kind of simplified some things. Well, maybe that's all it takes.
Yep.
Just simplify some
Play
things.
Football.
You don't have to be running guys all over the place to disguise things. Listen, Justin Herbert's a really good quarterback. Yeah, they're banged up. Yeah, they might be without both of their starting tackles. Doesn't matter. It's Sunday night. It's West Coast. There are going to be a lot of hurdles in the way. It's going to be a tough matchup. But man, this is the kind of game you want to play before you have to go out there and play it.
Imagine if it hadn't been the case here. Guys, listen, go get the app. We're getting to the point now where we're not even going to ask anymore. We're just going to start ordering you to do it. Go download the app. It's free to download. From there, you're not going to like it. There's ads on it. You're not going to be able to comment. Or you're not going to be able to ask Chris questions when he has his weekly question session. But if you get the premium level and you get it at a massive discount, you'll be very pleased with the product. Email me directly to get that discount. Okay, DK@DKPittsburghSports.com. I will take care of you. If not tonight, then for sure tomorrow. And it's not some automated thing. You'll be getting it right from me. Thanks so much for watching us. We'll be back tomorrow with a double shot of Steelers.